getting an early start today on the new car. So as some of you might know, I recently acquired a 1981 Chevrolet Chevette 4-door diesel 5-speed. Need to go through and start doing the usuals, assess where the damage is, start to clean and disinfect, and just go through and start making a parts list of all the things that are going to need to be replaced to bring it up to snuff and make it a good runner. So let's take a look. Here she is in all of her maroon glory. Strangely enough, it's actually probably the most optioned Chevette I've ever seen or owned. AC, tilt, got the factory ashtray behind the driver's seat, has both driver and passenger mirrors, power brakes, power steering, diesel 5-speed, deluxe interior. This did have the deluxe exterior trim package, and you can see all the studs on the door and everything where all the chrome trim went around the outside. It also had chrome drip rails, had the wider probably 2 or 3 inch chrome strip that went down along the bottom of the rocker, and rear speaker option as well. All in all, it's not terrible. We also have factory delay wipers, and I know I'm probably missing a couple other things. Passenger seat is in great shape. Drivers, of course, it's seen some butt time, so it's a little iffy. Floors, since the carpet's been partially torn out of this, they do have surface rust, but I don't see anything that's saying I've got a bunch of holes, and I've already been under it and kind of looked around and haven't seen any major holes that need to be addressed. But back seat's in pretty good condition. I still to this day don't understand how people dent these metal interior top rails, but almost every one in this car has some sort of a dent in it. You can see the rear factory speakers in the back. It also has a switch over on this side, which you can't see, but I believe that's for a remote dome light that you can turn on and off. There's the ashtray. Floors are wet. It's got a leak. It's got some bad seals and stuff around the doors. But what we're going to do today is rip out all the interior. We're going to clean and prep the floors, and I'm also going to get working on dyeing the red, yes, bright red carpet kit that came with it. We're going to dye that black to help offset the interior, since lipstick red and maroon aren't necessarily my first choices for a color combination in here. Got my good buddy up in Washington supposed to be coming down and bring me a trans. This one, I think the secondary shaft, according to a friend of mine, said the bearings are probably shot. It howls like crazy, first through third gear. Fourth gear is quiet, and then fifth goes back to howling. But so we'll get a trans, we'll get taillights for where it got rear-ended, and a license plate surround. We'll get those replaced. I've got to do some work on the hatch. We'll need to take the latch and see if we can't shim it or move it to help maybe get this bow out of the trunk lid. I'm not sure if I'll be able to save it, but I at least need it to seal until I can get another deck lid for it. A couple of big wowies here and there. I'll need to get the slide hammer out and the welder to pull those. Door needs lube, obviously, and here's the neat aftermarket dealer installed AC unit under the dash. Pump and everything, the condenser, everything's here, but it's not charged, and I'm not sure if it functions. Also, if you look over here, there's the controls for the AC, which that's pretty neat. that stupid gauge needs to get moved. We need to go through and odd father this and make it pretty, put it all back together. But take a look under the hood at this ugly little mess we got going on under here that definitely needs some love. She's greasy, she's grimy, she has no filter. Lots of stuff to get deleted. I got to take these wirings. I had a wire cut off on it from the friend that I bought it from. He couldn't figure out why it was draining the battery. It ended up being the alternator was missing a bolt in the lower part of the adjustment bracket, so it had no tension. Once we did that, it took care of it. I've had the switch on for 2 days and cold started it this morning with no problems. So I think our voltage issue has been resolved, but yeah. Well, we'll get started. Putting the kiddo to work. Well, got all the seats out. What? Nothing, keep vacuuming. Working on dyeing the carpet. It's going to take a lot of coats to turn this from lipstick red to black, but we're getting there. Well, got most of the floors cleaned up. Carpet's partially dyed. It's kind of screwed up. I'm going to put it in and see what spots need touching up, but this is an interesting find. I'd say that that transmission crossmember mount's pretty toast. Well, day one of making the interior habitable on the new diesel Chevette is now coming to a close. Got the new carpet in, took it out, took out the seats, took out the back seat, cleaned everything underneath, checked for holes, seam sealed, put in the carpet, and tried to scrub down gosh knows how many years of grime and yuck off of the seats. They still need another washing, but at least it's got a carpet kit in it now, and it's 50% less dusty and gross. So still need to go through the back. Sweet custom grill I need to put in that I made. Yeah, it's getting there. Lots to do under here. So many oil leaks. Got to do away with this battery cutoff thing. Some painting. Yeah, there's a lot to do. Lost a little bit of my footage, and we're gonna have to pick up somewhere in the middle. I lost me putting in some of the carpet and cleaning the seats and putting some other stuff back in. We'll take a look at where we're at now and what we're heading to do. In this part, we're going to be doing the transmission mount, which was a big score. I'll show you guys here in a minute. That was probably the best 99 cents I ever spent, but that's what you get with really old parts sitting on the shelf. So let's take a look at what we got. So we got the seats and everything all cleaned. I got this really great foam cleaner that cleaned the seats beautifully. It took off all the junk, all of the grime from 40 years plus of garbage. I've got the cluster out because we're gonna do LED bulb conversion, and the speedometer wasn't working. So I can see that the cable's still there. It moves freely. So when we get under the car, I'll take a look and see if the other end is any better, and we'll hook a drill up to it and just ensure that it's actually turning up here. If it's bad, I have a spare speedo cable, and we'll have to do that another day because I'm planning on driving this to work tomorrow. So all in all though, not too bad. I got to do the kick panels or find some better ones. Mine are pretty deteriorated. I ordered up a couple of seals for the rears because they're pretty bad. I've already done this side and it looks pretty good. It always takes a little while for these kinks to kind of work themselves out, sit properly and flatten out, but now it seals. So hopefully we won't be getting too much more water in here. Oh, you hear that? Sealed good. So let's get started on the transmission. Now I know you can see that. That's pretty blown out. I don't know that I've seen one this bad, but let's take a look. I'll show you from grabbing the shifter. So you can see that's pretty nasty. Here, I don't know if you can see this. I'd say we've had some use and abuse in this guy, for sure. Hopefully the mounts up above are still usable and we can actually put some bolts in this and tighten it up. I'm gonna stop this and I'll get back to you when I get this thing out. Oh buddy, I'd say this guy has seen some better days. That is for sure. Wow. I mean, this still looks fine, but man, look at that. Look at that pancaked bushing. So I'm gonna have to clean this up, find some bolts for this guy, and then hopefully get the bolts out of this, and let's get the new mount in there. So here's that 99-cent mount. Now I know it looks like shit, but you can see that there's these holes in here, the relief for the rubber bushing, and all these holes are in the front here is just that rubber casting pushing through. People at O'Reilly's were like, oh, let's order you a new one. I said, well, how about you do me one better and you just do me a discount? So for 99 cents, new mount. All right, well, we found a couple bolts for that extension up here. I got this sort of cleaned off, so we're gonna get under here. Got the new abused looking mount ready to go, and we're gonna jump under here and put this bad boy in now. Oh, and it's raining. That's heckum nice. I like it. Keeps you on your toes, you know. I don't know what I'd do without just getting pissed on while I do, you know, everything I do. Had the whole day, get out here, and then lo and behold, it's raining. Isn't that nice? That's so nice. And I really love when the cars self-lubricate, because it just makes it such a pleasure, you know, sitting under here and not being able to actually do anything worthwhile because you're so covered in grease that you can't even function. But you know, it is what it is, you know, hashtag diesel life. escaping from the rain in the sanctity of the diesel Chevette here. You know, surprisingly, out of all the Chevettes I've owned, this is the only one that doesn't leak. I put the carpet in a couple days ago and I've pulled it back a couple times to check and haven't seen anything. So pretty lucky on that front. What I'm going to do now is I've already gone through and you can see the black Sharpie marks on the bulb sockets. I'm going to pull those out, and I like purple. It looks cool with the maroon. It's kind of a maroonish tint. So I'm going to replace all of these real quick, and then we're going to put this bad boy in, and we'll have the purple backlight. And then maybe, just maybe, after repositioning the speedometer cable, maybe we might have a speedometer. But if not, as I said previously, I'll be pulling the trans anyway next weekend, and if it's still not working, I'll just put the new cable in. Alright, well, I know I'm leaving out quite a bit of little pieces here and there of what I've been doing, but kind of hard to tell, but the purple lights are in. Now getting the one above the heater controls put in. Neat little thing that I found while I was dinking around. I found that this car actually has, it's kind of hard to see, but it has underdash lights, which is a first that I've seen in a Chevette. It's got one on both sides. It's also got a glove box light, and it had this circular dome light, which I've ghettoly put in a temporary light since the wires were cut over here for whatever reason. But we're slowly getting the lighting in here proper, and as soon as it gets a little bit darker, I'll turn everything on and let you guys see what it looks like. What's it say now?
It's almost at a half.
A half?
Yeah, now it's at it.
What about now?
It is full.
Full?
Yeah.
Seems clear to me. So, I know I skipped out on quite a bit of the things that I've been doing to this, but this was more of a thrown together montage video just to kind of show some of the initial projects that are taken on when you get a new car that has been neglected. We got the grill in. I created some clear side marker lights with the amber bulbs. I found these pretty fancy looking early 90s Honda wheels and a new set of tires that were very affordable. We've had quite a bit of success so far. Still needs quite a bit. Odd Father's Garage. I did manage to get the rear deck lid to sit a little bit better. It still needs a little bit of fine tuning. I was able to pop out some of these dents. Still waiting on some tail lights, other bits and pieces from our good buddy Peter Steiner. I did get this license plate bezel from my buddy Burton, and we're making progress. It drives really nice. Had to add in a 1/2 inch spacer and some longer wheel studs in order to run these because the offset wasn't quite right. And as you can see now, they fit decent. They're not filling the wheel well, but it's sort of at a factory location. The grill turned out nice. I like that look. It's sort of an industrial diesel-esque vibe. And interior stuff. We're looking really nice in here. We've got the gauges in, carpets in, LED purple lights. We got our little gauges down here to show everything working, stereo's working. This cool little Bluetooth to radio station converter guy is doing its thing. So interesting hearing modern music coming through an AM FM radio from 40 years ago. Did some quick style headliner install. I found this 1/2-inch foam at work and sort of hodgepodged it in until I can pull it back out and wrap it in some material. But we're definitely making headway, guys. Got my toolbox because, you know, diesel life. Back's cleaned up, need to put in the plastics and repaint and re-dye the rears. But all in all, I'd say we're making some good headway. So hopefully here, once the weather starts to cooperate, we can start in on the body work, and we're gonna do a nice satin maroon on this car. Something easy to maintain. If I mess it up, then you know, I can just repaint a panel and not worry about it. After all, it's just gonna be a little MPG getter just to get back and forth to work. But all in all, I'm pretty happy. Here's under the hood where we're sitting currently. I got most of it degreased. I rerouted some wires for the glow plug heater. That's not going to stay there forever, but I needed a filter, so at least it's filtering now. We also replaced the hood release cable since this one was broken. Valve cover gasket has been done. I rewired, and it's not great, but the high idle temperature sender for cold morning starts now functions. Really need to address whatever the hell that is and put in a proper patch. There's a good deal of metal missing from underneath, but nothing that we can't fab up and just burn in a new panel. Surprisingly though, it doesn't leak, so I'm not overly worried about it right now. As the weather improves, we'll get onto it. We did the fuel filter, blew out the fuel lines. I actually dropped the tank on this off video and tested the sender, did a few other things that's in the video earlier. It seems to be running good. Next step is just to give it another test drive and see how she does.